Hello and welcome. So today I have a very special video for you because you may agree that we've had so many new 2025 releases. But curiously enough, the 8 fragrances that I'm going to share with you today, I haven't really seen anybody talk about them. Maybe one of them I've heard a couple of content creators discuss, but that's about it. So it's made me wonder, why have they not been discussed? Because when I tell you they are exceptional, but they have not been hyped. I really haven't heard much about them, not on YouTube, not on Instagram. So it's just very interesting to me. But I have to tell you, these are 8 fragrances that you really want to pay attention because they are ones that are worthy of you getting your nose on them and trying. But let's go ahead and jump right in because we have so much to cover. But before we do so, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi, and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and on this channel, we love to talk about all types of fragrances. Now, if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in, and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. All right, so before we get started, first, I wanted to let you guys know that some of these fragrances were sent to me by the MAXAROMA team. If the MAXAROMA team is watching, thank you so much. Remember, guys, that I do have a discount code for you with MAXAROMA, and you get free 2-day shipping, so don't forget that. This first fragrance that I want to discuss with you, it is the only one from this group that was not launched during 2025, but it is a very recent discovery of mine. You know, it was sent to me by the MAXAROMA team, and I was not aware of this brand at all. And you know, I've been on a quest to find at least 5 new fragrance houses to add to my collection during 2025. So thank you to the MAXAROMA team for sending me this fragrance. Now, Testament London is the brand, and I did not know much about them. But when I received this fragrance and I started to do my research and try it and test it, I was thoroughly impressed. Had you heard of Testament London? Because I had not. I don't know where I've been. And I have to tell you that just from this fragrance, which is Mirage, I think I'm going to have to try others. I'm going to see if I can get myself a discovery set or something like that, because the quality, the blend, oh my goodness, the scent is just exquisite. And what I love is that it's something quite unique. And it's funny because the notes don't speak to this scent being any different than so many others that share the same type of notes. But honestly, there is a difference, and I just can't explain it. This is a fragrance that opens up quite citrusy, a bit fresh, and very fruity. It is sweet, but not very sweet. As you approach mid-journey, you are going to pick up on some florals. I can't clearly distinguish any of them. I can't distinguish a jasmine or rose or violet or anything like that. All I know is that there are florals, and they are definitely present. The fruity notes continue to be there. The fresh and citrusy quality that you find in the opening is still present, but it has reduced quite a bit, giving way to the florals. At the dry down, you are going to get an exquisitely beautiful ambery fragrance that has touches of florals and fruity notes, and in the backdrop definitely has a musk. But the musk is not animalic in any way, and I barely pick up on it. I do pick up on it, but barely. That's why, you know, I would say it's like a level 2 musk. So if you're not into musk fragrances, of course, I would recommend that you try and get your nose on this one first. But if you are okay with musk fragrance, or you are a musk fragrances lover, then this is one that you definitely want to try. This is a fragrance that performs beautifully. And I love the fact that it's very versatile, because I think that you can use this in any season of the year for any occasion, day or night. And I think it is best suited for the ages of 25 plus. I also think that this is a fully unisex fragrance that really doesn't lean in any direction. But if I had to pick a side, since you guys always ask me, I would say that it may lean a tad to the feminine side. At that, as I was saying before, it does perform beautifully because it does give me a full day wear without having to overspray. It has a very strong projection during, I would say, almost 2 hours. And after that, it becomes a scent bubble that will get me like another 2 hours. And after that, it does become a skin scent. Now, the sillage, though, is above moderate because it is the type of fragrance that will get you compliments. It does not announce itself, but once you're around, they will know that it's you that smells so fabulous. To me, the feel of this fragrance is all about like being happy to be alive. You know, someone that is vibrant and happy to be alive and ready to take chances and is not afraid to face challenges. It's just a very, very interesting feel fragrance because while it has that fruitiness and that sweetness, and it is perfect for any occasion, I also feel that it really goes well with whatever mood you're in. Again, someone who's very open to just about everything, whether it's adventure, whether it's a passionate moment, whether it's just a very formal occasion, it doesn't matter. This is a fragrance that I think will go beautifully for any occasion and for any mood that you may be in. So for me, the feel is that of being like open-minded, open to just about every situation and facing it in a very positive way. That's what this fragrance gives me. The next fragrance that I have for you, as you can see, is a 2025 release. And this one is Pieds, and this one is from Jacques Zolty Scent Bar. And this fragrance caught me by surprise. So I know that in my collection, I don't have a fragrance that opens with such a collection of fruity notes and then adds ginger to it. And I have to tell you that that opening, which is absolutely different and exquisite, will be an opening that will be with you all throughout the wear of the fragrance. This is a fragrance that will give you the feel of a luxury vacation without a shadow of a doubt. It is such an exquisitely luxurious feel fragrance, but at that, it's not luxurious like in any other type of occasion. It truly is, for me at least, it is a fragrance that speaks to a luxury resort kind of vacation for sure. And you could use it for any occasion, day or night. Again, this is another brand that I had not heard of. I've been introduced to it. This fragrance was also sent to me by the MAXAROMA team, and I'm so glad that they did because of all of the fragrances. Oh, and I'm loving it because the scent is now here. Oof, it's just incredible, guys. There is such an opulent, luxurious smell to this fragrance, but at that, it brings like all of the scents that you would expect to find within a luxury vacation. It doesn't necessarily have the scent of like being at the beach per se. No, but there is an entire vibe around like being in that luxury vacation, I am telling you. And at that, you're going to feel very luxurious and very beautiful and very like if you're dressed with like a caftan and a sun hat and some beautiful sandals and an incredible like big bucket bag to just put all your beach things in, you are just feeling like totally happy and totally in like your luxury vacation mode. That is what I get from this fragrance. This scent is so different. I tell you, you have to get your nose on this one because it is truly summer, luxury summer perfection in a bottle without smelling like beach, without limiting you to certain occasions or just casual occasions. It's a fragrance that you can dress up, you can dress down. But I have to tell you that I really don't think that this is a fragrance that you could use for any other season except for maybe spring and summer and maybe the fall. But other than that, this is definitely not a winter fragrance. So if you are going to a warm location, whether it's on vacation or not, because this is not just limited to vacations, by the way, but it does give me that, you know, like luxury resort kind of scent for sure. But this is a fragrance that I think is suited for all ages. It does have a musk level of 3, but the musk, although you are going to pick up on it, it's not really animalic in any way, which is also what I love about the fragrance, that while you are going to get that freshness and you are going to get that musk that is so perfect for like a very hot summer day, it is not animalic in any way, and the fragrance overall is just such an exquisitely beautiful scent. This is a fragrance that does perform beautifully because it does get me a full day wear without having to overspray. It does have a strong sillage that will get you compliments for sure. This is a fragrance that, you know, I sprayed on myself and then I just walked around the house, and my husband did ask me what I was wearing because it does leave a trail. I tell you, this is one that you really do not want to miss. So next we are going to cover two fragrances that, when I tell you, they are exceptionally beautiful and very, very special and very different. They're very unique they're just incredible. So they are both from Christian Provenzano, and they are both 2025 launches. And the first one that I want to discuss with you is Crystal Musk. So putting aside the fact that this bottle is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the Christian Provenzano bottles are just exquisite, just absolutely exquisite. So this is a fragrance that was launched during 2025, and it does open up like fresh, spicy, and it also has like citrusy qualities to it. The spice that I do pick up in the opening is the cardamom, and within the citrusy notes, the one that I pick up the most is the bergamot. But that fresh, spicy, citrusy opening is going to carry you through the entire olfactory journey and the wear of the fragrance. Now, as you approach midway in the olfactory journey, you're going to start to pick up on the florals. But one thing that I do want you to know about this fragrance is that the name says it all, because it's called Crystal Musk, and it is truly like a crystal musk. So the florals that I pick up on the most are like neroli and rose. The rose is very fresh, very crisp, very recently bloomed. It's a very, very young rose. There is nothing dated or jammy about this rose at all, because the entire aesthetic of this fragrance, I wouldn't say that this is a clean fragrance, but it does border on being like a clean fragrance because it is a very smooth musk-based fragrance. Again, like the name says it, like crystal musk. It's almost like you can see through it. I can't explain it, but it's absolutely beautiful. As the fragrance approaches the dry down, you are going to pick up on that patchouli. But the patchouli is not really dominant. It's just that the patchouli is definitely present at the dry down. And at the dry down, of course, you are going to get that musk-based fragrance that has been infused with those florals, where none of the florals at the dry down are quite dominant. And you're still going to have a bit of that fresh, spicy opening. And altogether, that dry down is just such a smooth and beautiful musk-based fragrance. Now, this is truly a musk fragrance, okay? Because it is like a level 3, which means that you are going to pick up on the musk, and the musk is not animalic in any way. I tell you, this is like if you could take a fragrance and define it like as a breath of fresh air, that's what I see Crystal Musk as. It gives me the feeling of someone who is very intellectual and who does not like fragrances that are very convoluted or very complex or, you know, just very loaded, like with a ton of accords and tonalities. This is a very, again, clean type aesthetic fragrance that, while at that, will make you feel very beautifully elegant and sophisticated with a very high intellect. That's the type of individual that I see with this fragrance. This fragrance does give me a full day wear, but really no more than like 7 hours. It may go a little bit over the 7-hour mark, but at that point, it's a very intimate skin scent. This is not designed to be a powerhouse, in my opinion, whatsoever, because then it would be like in contrast to the smoothness of that when I tell you, it is just such a smooth musk, like very sensual, smooth kind of fragrance. I think that you could pull this off any season of the year, even though I think that during the winter, if it's a very, very, very cold winter day, I don't think that I would pull this musk fragrance. To me, this is perfection for like the spring, the summer, and maybe the fall. This is a fragrance that has no oud whatsoever. We did discuss the musk, and I think that it is best suited for the ages of 25 plus. And at that, it is a unisex fragrance that to me does lean to the feminine side. Had you heard of Christian Provenzano's Crystal Musk, or have you tried it? And if you have, please let us know what you think about it. The next fragrance that I have for you is the second fragrance that I picked up from Christian Provenzano's 2025 launches. And so you know, I have tried all the ones that he did launch, including Mangostino, but I really did not like it as much as to feel that I wanted to pick up a bottle. But these two that I've shared with you today, these, I am telling you, you really need to get your nose on them. So this next one is called Onda de Mar. And to me, this is truly a spring and summer only fragrance. This is truly a beach fragrance. This is like beach in a bottle, like holiday in a bottle. It is so smooth and beautifully elegant. It is a fragrance that opens up with a very, to my nose, present, not dominant, but present lavender note. And there is a certain level of freshness to the fragrance. But as soon as it opens, you are going to get that like beach quality to the fragrance immediately. There's like a marine / ozonic quality, but then there's also like, if I recall correctly, seaweed and maybe even moss, and all of that together just makes for truly a beach fragrance. It's like beach in a bottle. But at that, it is also a fragrance that is so elegant and very smooth that I think that you could pull it off for any occasion, day or night, during the spring and summer seasons. Most specifically during the summer, you could pull it for just about every occasion. Much like in Crystal Musk, this fragrance does give me tops 7 hours without having to overspray. I haven't tried overspraying it because I just don't think that this is a fragrance that's designed for you to overspray or to make it a powerhouse or anything like that. Some fragrances you just want to wear, you know, for those days that you just want something very soothing, very calm, you know, just nothing loud for the day, right? But a fragrance that will make a statement in its own way and that has quite a bit of character, then this is the fragrance that you want for the day. Now, to me, this is best suited for the ages of 25 plus, and it does have a musk level 3. This musk is a musk that you are going to pick up on, but again, it is not animalic in any way. I really think that Christian Provenzano gave us 3 fragrances during 2025 that were specifically designed for the spring and summer seasons. And those are, you know, Crystal Musk, Onda de Mar, and Mangostino. And of the 3, as I told you before, I've picked up these 2, and I can tell you that they are just perfection for spring and summer. If you're looking for that air of elegance, that air of like very calm well-being, right? Like a very self-actualized type of individual is what I get from this fragrance. The next fragrance that I have for you was also sent to me by the MAXAROMA team. And when I tell you this one, these last 4 fragrances, I mean, I love all of them. That's why they're in this lineup. But these last 4, I am struggling with which one to pull every day. And I'm also struggling to not pull them because I have other fragrances that I need to, you know, do reviews on. So I have to test them, but I just want to wear them all the time. So most of the time I'll just spray them in my hand, on my hand, if I'm testing another fragrance on my arm and so forth. So this next one, as you can see, is from Pantheon Roma, and it is O. Now, O to me is like the reaction that you're going to have when you sniff O. First of all, have you taken a look at the notes? Because the notes are just incredible. I mean, it's not just champagne, no, it's rose champagne, so a rosé, right? This fragrance opens with that champagne note for sure. You are going to pick up on it immediately. Let me just tell you that the entire feel of this fragrance is that of luxury and opulence and wealth while being extremely sexy. That is what this fragrance is. This is your perfect sexy fragrance, and I think that it is beautiful for any season of the year, and definitely for an age group of 25 plus. When I first started to do research on it, I saw that it had the note of champagne, and then it has tequila and other notes that I found really, really interesting. So this is a fragrance that has quite the combination of notes because it has fruity notes, and that cherry note is very present. It's a very juicy, very rich. And I would not say that it's necessarily a dark cherry, but it is definitely a very present cherry note. At that, you also have the note of tequila, which I really don't pick up on, but there is tequila there. The one that I definitely pick up is that champagne. The fragrance is also very ambery, but when I tell you that the beauty of this fragrance is that mix of notes and the vanilla here, it's not dominant in any way, but you are going to pick up on it. All in all, this is such an exquisitely unique fragrance that is just a delight to wear. It performs beautifully because it is going to get you a full day wear with a very strong projection during the first 2+ hours. And then after that, it does become a scent bubble for, I would say, maybe another 90 minutes. And then it is a skin scent. But it is the type of skin scent that will allow you to smell yourself all throughout the day. This is a high compliment getter because this is such an alluringly sexy and beautiful fragrance. This fragrance has no oud and no musk, and it is extremely versatile because, as I said before, I think you could get away with using it for every season of the year and for any occasion, day or night. It's also, to me, a very unisex fragrance that leans to the feminine side. So it truly is unisex. I can see a gentleman kind of pulling it off, but it does lean to the feminine side, and not a tad. I think that it really leans to the feminine side. The next fragrance that I have for you is the latest from Floraiku Paris, and this one is Gong. Now, Gong is a fragrance that, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought that there was a tea note here because I clearly get that tea notes. So in the opening, you are going to get like citrusy notes. Specifically, you are going to pick up on the yuzu, but immediately I also get like a note of tea, and to my nose it is quite present. I don't know, there is a note here that I'm not very familiar with, which is called dorayaki, and it's some sort of like pancake that's done in certain villages. And you know, I did some research on it, but it didn't give me any tea. But I just don't know why, but I am getting a very present tea note. At that, this fragrance is so uniquely beautiful. But you know what? It is something that I've become very used to when it comes to a Floraiku fragrance, because every Floraiku fragrance that I have in my collection or that I've tried seems to be very, very unique. At that, these fragrances do perform nicely, but they're not designed to be powerhouses. So Gong is no different in that, because it is going to give you no more than a 7-hour wear without overspraying. It's also a fragrance that has no oud and no musk, so it's very versatile. But at that, I don't think that this is a fragrance that you could pull for every season of the year. I think that this is perfect for like spring, summer, and fall. This is a fragrance that opens up very citrusy. And in that citrusy quality, you are going to pick up clearly on the yuzu. As the journey continues, the fragrance does become a bit like fresh, spicy, and you are going to pick up on the note of black pepper. Is it dominant? No, it's not dominant, but you are going to pick up on the black pepper. As you approach the dry down, you are going to find that those citrusy notes from the opening are still very present. They will be present throughout the entire wear of the fragrance, and that is when that tea note really intensifies to my nose. And at the dry down, you are going to get those citrusy notes, and you are going to get that spiciness on a backdrop of like some soft woody notes, because there is nothing loud or screechy or intense in any way about this fragrance. It is very, very smooth. It is the feel of someone that is like very calm, cool, and collected. You know, there's no need to rush. There's no need to try too hard. They just go with the flow of things. That's what I get from this fragrance. It's a very carefree type of spirit, if you know what I mean. But I think that this is a fragrance that you really need to get your nose on, because I am pretty sure that you will either like it or deeply fall in love with it like I did. The next fragrance that I have for you is a fragrance that was also sent to me by the MAXAROMA team. And this one is called, as you can see, Muskberry from Moresque. Now, this is one that I think I saw one other content creator discuss. And I really, to be honest with you, had no plans to pick it up. I've been a little bit disappointed when it comes to strawberry fragrances. You know, me and my pursuit of looking for the perfect strawberry or berry fragrance. But I have to tell you that this one is it. This is the most realistic berry fragrance that I have ever sniffed or that I have in my collection for sure. This is a fragrance that opens up very, very fruity. You are going to immediately get all of the berries of the world. You're going to get blackberry, strawberry, raspberry. Oh, you are going to get all of the berries of the world. But in addition to that berry blast in the opening, it's also very fruity, and you're also going to pick up in a weak manner, in more of a demure manner, you're going to pick up on the passion fruit. Now, as the journey continues, you're going to find that the fragrance starts to evolve a bit, right? Because you are going to now start to pick up on the florals. And within the florals, none of them really stand out. Maybe the jasmine just a little bit, but there is definitely some iris, some rose, and jasmine here. But the one that I pick up on a little bit is the jasmine. And I guess I pick up on the iris because at the dry down, the fragrance is powdery. Not very powdery, but it is definitely powdery. At the dry down, you are going to get the most exquisite fragrance that has now infused all of those fruity notes with like a very caramel vanilla kind of like wrap. It's like a very interesting effect, because you may think, wow, okay, so all those fruits, they're very sweet, and now we're going to add vanilla and caramel. But you know, this does not smell like food whatsoever. It doesn't even, at least to my nose, doesn't even smell like a dessert of any kind. But there is something very special. That's why it's in this lineup. This is a very unique and different fragrance, because you're going to pick up on all those fruity notes. The florals come in. They are not weak. There is a bouquet of florals that is definitely present. And then at the dry down, you're going to have also like that very vanillic, kind of like caramel and vanilla type of effect that's going to like give the fruits and the florals like a big hug, and they all come together and they're all happy. That's what I get from this fragrance. This is a very versatile fragrance that I think that you could pull off for any season of the year, for any ages, for any occasion, day or night. It does have musk, but the musk is not really a factor here. It's like a level 2, maybe even a level 1. It's not animalic, obviously, in any way. I'm telling you, I don't think you're going to pick up on the musk. This is a fragrance that also performs beautifully because it is going to get you a full day wear with 8+ hours without overspraying. It does have an above moderate sillage, which is going to get you compliments. All in all, I tell you, I am so happy that this fragrance was sent to me, because again, as I said, I had really no plan to pick it up, not because of anything, but because I thought, here we go, you know, another fragrance that claims to give you all of the berries of the universe. And, you know, I just didn't want to go through that process again. But this one, the strawberry is so real. All of the berries are present and it's so realistic. And it is a fragrance that it is a delight to wear. It is a fragrance that you can definitely dress up or dress down, because while it has a touch of like being fun, it's also a fragrance that is very vibrant and very like alive. It's like it's vibrant with life is the feel that I get from the fragrance. So the next fragrance that I have for you is one that, of course, I've been wanting to talk to you about for a while, because I did have it in a chatty scent corner and I shared with you that I was so excited about it and that it was an immediate deep love for me, because it has been. And this one is Sospiro Cavatina. Now, Cavatina is a fragrance that opens up very, very fruity with a very present pomegranate note. Now, in addition to the pomegranate, in that opening, I pick up on the pink pepper. And as the fragrance continues to evolve, I do get the florals. The florals initially come in as a bouquet, like very well blended. And then I start to pick up here and there on different florals, right? Whether it's the jasmine or the freesia or the rose, because there are different florals here. Something that you do need to know though is that number one, this is a fragrance that has ambroxan. So if you're sensitive to ambroxan, this is not for you. And number two, this is a musk-based fragrance. But when I tell you that, I don't even pick up on the musk because the fruity, citrusy notes and the florals really are the ones that take the lead in this fragrance. This smells absolutely exquisite. It is such a realistic pomegranate and very interesting. The dry down to me is powdery. Not excessively powdery, but it is definitely powdery. At that, I think that this is perfect for just about any age and for any season of the year, for any occasion, yet another very versatile fragrance. You know, to me, it was very interesting that although it had that pomegranate note and the pomegranate is quite dominant in the opening, as I explained before, it is a fragrance that honestly you can dress up or you can dress down. And the feel of this fragrance is of like an individual that's very focused, right? Like they are on a mission, they have a plan, and they are just moving towards it, like pursuing it. There is something very invigorating about this fragrance. I don't know if it's because there's so many florals and the fruity notes are also so present and they both balance each other so well, but there is something very, very unique about this fruity fragrance. To me, it's also unisex, but it does lean to the feminine side. I don't think it's a full-on feminine fragrance, but it does lean to the feminine side in my opinion. Can I see a gentleman wearing this fragrance? I think you can. I mean, wear whatever you want. But to me, it is definitely unisex leaning feminine. As far as performance, this is a fragrance that performs beautifully. It does on my skin border on being beast mode for sure. Without overspraying, it is giving me almost 10 hours. It does have a very strong projection during the first over 2 hours, and it does have a moderate sillage. To date, I have received maybe 2 compliments with this one, but it is not one of those fragrances that every time I wear it, I get a compliment if that's, you know what you're into. But it is definitely a fragrance that you are going to sniff on yourself all throughout the day. This is not for the faint at heart because this one really makes a statement with those florals and with the fruity notes. Is there anything screechy about it? No, not really, but it is definitely a fragrance that is very much present. All right, guys, so we've reached the end of today's video, and I have to tell you, all 8 of these fragrances are fragrances that I highly recommend that you get your nose on. These are truly fragrances that I have not heard much about, and I was almost tempted to gatekeep. Some of them I've had with me for quite a bit, like the Christian Provenzano fragrances, and I haven't said anything because, you know, as soon as you say something, then everybody's going to go out there and try and find it. But these are really exceptional fragrances. I have to tell you that Pieds, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. This is unbelievable. This is so unique. This is the type of fragrance that people ask you what you're wearing because they've never smelled anything like it. I can't speak highly enough of this one. And if you're interested in trying it or picking up a bottle or whatever, I will have a link to all of these fragrances and a discount code wherever possible. But I have to tell you, this is the most luxurious, like yacht level vacation fragrance. Then Mirage, the one that I told you that I did not even know about, Testament London. This is just incredible. And this is one again that you could use all throughout the year. It is just absolute perfection. It's going to give you that air of elegance and sophistication while still being modern. It is just incredible. And I have to tell you that when it comes to O, this is just such a sexy fragrance. I mean, think about it. You have champagne and it opens with that rosé because it's a rose champagne. And it is going to give you that all throughout the wear of the fragrance. It is such a sexy, and the scent is so unique. You really need to get your nose on this one. Believe me, this is one you do not want to miss out on. And of course, Muskberry, all of the berries of the universe done to perfection with some florals. Just an incredibly done fragrance. Totally jaw-dropped with this one and all those berries. And of course, from Christian Provenzano, you guys know that he is the man of elegance, and these two do not disappoint. That's really what they are. They are incredibly elegant, beautiful, versatile fragrances that will definitely make a statement wherever you go without being overpowering or obnoxious or just a bit much. No, just understated elegance and sophistication. Anyway, guys, I hope that this was enjoyable for you. Again, I will leave a link to all the fragrances and a discount code where available. Thank you so much for hanging with me today as always, and I will see you all in the next video.